Hey everybody, my name is Ahmet, and today I will tell you how I made my song Stefan Dedalus off of my latest EP, Die Before You Die. Yeah, welcome. I tried to record the video many times and I just kept getting interrupted, so this time, hopefully it'll work. The song starts with the kaval sound here, which is a traditional Turkish instrument, and I have it here. The one that the song was recorded with wasn't this. This is like the one my grandfather played in the song recording process, and it's basically this thing you'll hear here. It's just this incredibly beautiful sounding instrument. And in the background, having a dark contrast to that sound is this sound. And it's not too audible in the final mix, but I still wanted to share it with you because I just find it to be really inspiring. The initial version of this sound I showed you now was this. And that's something I recorded one day when I was walking to the subway, and this walking band was broken. It was making this sound, and I figured, that sounds cinematic enough. I can record that and make something out of it. So in the background, as the kaval goes, we have these classical, electronic piano instruments, EPs sounds. One of them is panned to the right, one of them is panned to the left. And there are these synth sounds that are also coming back from the back. And now on to the grand part. The synths change, the guitar sound will be introduced in a second. The end of the ballad. The piano sounds good, you can see it now. The end of the ballad. The end of the ballad. So yeah, now on to the analysis part. So this is the piano sound you hear. And as you can hear, it's not too refined. It's crude, and I recorded this on this piano here with my phone. The reason is I was just brainstorming. I didn't have an idea to make a song when I was making this. And again, the keys we heard at this beginning accompany it to give a more full environment. And we have these sliding basses with side chains on them, as you can hear here, because it's a very loud and wide mix. The one you hear right now sounds like shit, but the final version is. And to leave some ground there to be explored and some breathing space, you have to open up these rooms. And I did that by adding these side chains to the bass, which I think was a good little part. There's this kick sound, which is not the one I used in the final version. I worked with the incredible Sarpöz Demiroğlu in the post-production and mixing process, and we went over some of the sounds and changed some stuff in production, how the basses and the kicks sound. So the things you hear here aren't the final ones, but they're meant to give an idea on how the production process goes and how the song was created. And a dear friend, Alex Blackstock, suggested I add shakers to the song to add more dynamism. And as you can hear, it doesn't do that. And then this percussive element we'll get into just add a little bit more flavor. And I tried to use my vocals a lot in the song too, so a lot of reverb. and these minor pitch inflections where they're off pitch in a little way. My voice sounds burnt, as we call it in Turkish. And my main inspiration there was to approach the aesthetic of Sufism and this Islamic mystic sound that gives this heavenly but somber yet energetic feeling. And I think by adding these supporting vocals to the various parts of the songs and reverb, even if they're in the background, I think that's a sort of garment that works good with the songs. So now, after this section, the song will shift into the organ production.
The end of the ballad and the summer fall.
And yeah, it's going to say that. So if the system has overloaded, then I'll leave it up to me a few minutes back to tell you how I wrote the lyrics and what they mean. So, the name of the song is Stefan Dedalus, and the lyrics go, the end of the ballad and the summer fall. Seems like the ends we make are full of all. A weak dialectic and the loss of voice. It seems that dreams of us are lost. And the silence of music, the end of songs. Our times take the life out of it all. We're slowly getting lost with their chess moves, the end of the ballad. What I mean by these lyrics is basically the character of Stefan Dedalus in James Joyce's Ulysses lives in Ireland that's headed into an age of shift. There's political turmoil, there's polarization, and the whole world is headed into that sort of wind of change, I should say. And I strongly resonated with that. I felt that the current state of the world felt similar to that. And the character of Stefan Dedalus was dealing with mourning and loss. He had lost his mother, and I've lost my mother a few years back. And I just felt this kind of odd connection with the character in how he described some of the things and some of the things that happened to him in the book. And, I just wanted to pay homage to him by naming the song after him. By the end of the ballad and the summer fall, I refer to the end of globalization and this sort of idea of unification which we had been brought up, hearing. Dialectic and loss of voice, it seems that dreams of us are lost. Again, it's just this emphasis on collectivity. And the silence of music, the end of songs, our times take the life out of it all. We're slowly getting lost with their chess moves. And by this I refer to an almost dialectic of enlightenment kind of notion where we beat on everything too much and we take the meaning out of it, the humanness out of it. And yeah, just these are all things that I felt in the moment and wrote down. These are eclectic thoughts, and those are the things that made the lyrics. And based on the lyrics, the way I produced the song changed also, and I'll show them to you right now. So yeah. As you can see here, the tempo starts off slow, then it gets up high, then it gets up higher, and then it goes back to a certain degree, and it stays there. So there's a state of change. There's bass, there's synths, there are different elements. So this entrance part is very isolated with only the kaval instrument I just showed you. And then the next section, is very rich. It keeps building on itself. And then again, it's silent. It's intimate. The lyrics come up with the piano. And then you go back into this grand scheme, and then you slow down only to rise back up again at the end, and with these big drums and all of these grand stuff. And I think that sort of ride, that sort of cinematic approach was more fitting to this idea, of these ideas that I told you about in lyrics. So yeah, after the lyrics come in a more isolated way, the synths,
a weak dialectic.
The synths and the percussive elements, they get back in, signaling us that we're going to go back into the tempo of the song.
Dreams of us are lost. And the silence of music, the end of songs, our times take the life out of it all.
Okay, yeah, these pianos I made.
The end of the
So this little part here is this transition place in the song with the kavals.
The end of the ballad. The end of the ballad. The end of the ballad.
This is the computer I made the album with, by the way. the EP, whatever.
The ballad, the end of 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 the ballad. The end of the ballad.
And then the guitars get in.
The end of the ballad.
And fun fact, they're actually my voice. This. So if I were to make a new track without any sort of plugins and just put this down here. Yeah, kind of demystifies the whole thing, but you know, that's what I did. And that's what that's the sort of transition here before the beat changes and the song shifts off in this new direction. So then yapma şunu ya. BPM gets higher and higher, right? Slowly. Yeah, my computer just doesn't let me go any further from this, but you can check out the rest of the song on all the platforms. And yeah, that was about it. My songs don't have a lot of streams right now. This song has about 100 or something on Spotify. It's been a month since it's out, and that's just what happens when you're not backed by a label or any sort of producers or anything. But I think quality will stand the test of time, and I think somehow, some way, good things will happen. And, you know, if you want to be a part of that, you know, helping me out on my journey to get my music shared around the world, you know, you can listen to it on Spotify. It's under my name. I'll try to add it somewhere here. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, whatever. Yeah, take care.